Hi, I'm Eric.
And I'm Dick. We're the Annuity guys.
Dick, the key today, we're talking strategy. What's your strategy?
Well, if you don't have a strategy, Eric, you don't know where you're going. It's like going on a big long trip without a roadmap. It might be fun for a while, but when you get on a road and you're lost and you're hungry and it's not fun.
It's time to pull off. I'm a big fan of Zig Ziglar, and I always love the one phrase he always used to say. You can't hit a target you can't see.
That's absolutely true.
And I always love all these statements you hear about retirement, that we spend more time planning our vacations than we do our retirement. And so when it comes down to it, we look at annuities, investing, retirement. Well, having a strategy, having a plan in place to make sure you're successful.
Well, one of the things, and one of the things that have led us to this topic today, we don't often see this, but
an investment guy talking about.
Let's give credit where credit's due. Okay, Robert Isbett, author for Market Watch.
He wrote the article that was kind of the inspiration.
Right, and he takes a pretty balanced approach from an investing point of view.
Right.
And he may actually, involve the use of annuities to some degree, but his article is about investing. And he really drills down on those key strategies.
Right, the top 5 pieces that he says for if you're going to have a strategy for retirement. Here are your 5 key pieces.
Yes.
And I love number 1 because it's first and foremost in our minds, consistent income.
Right.
How's that money coming in? How you're
right.
Is it Social Security? Is it a pension?
Yes.
Is it an annuity?
Yes.
Is it from investments?
Well, and so often, Eric, once you get it figured out, the different income streams, it comes down to your assets and how you're going to use those assets to produce some of that income.
Right.
And the standard financial planning rule is 3 to 4% that you can withdraw safely without running out of money. So there are strategies out there that will allow you to draw considerably more and be safe and guaranteed on your income. Right. And of course, we like the annuity strategies that do that.
Right. Well, we're big fans of the foundation, protecting the foundation, that income stream with an annuity. If you have that core piece taken care of, then you can do so much more, knowing that you don't have to be concerned about the ups and the downs and being able to draw out that amount each and every month.
Yes.
Because what happens if we take a dip? Do we start taking lower amounts of income? Well, if we have a prolonged dip, So the investment side gives us more heartburn. We're more comfortable knowing that the insurance company is writing the check.
If you have that foundation built, if you know what your income stream is going to be, and you also have to take into account inflation. Right. Now, that was one thing that was kind of lacking on the article that I saw, and I'm sure that Mr. Isbett considers inflation and looks at that as part of the overall portfolio. But that is one of the things that we look at and say, how are you going to combat inflation?
Sure.
What's your hedge?
Yeah. How are you? What's your growth rate? And we should say, when we are talking annuities, we usually talk about taking care of the foundation aspect. We're not suggesting that all your money goes into annuities.
Absolutely.
Now, there are some annuity guys that aren't sitting at this table.
Well, when you say the optimal amount, because that's another part of your strategy, what's the optimal amount that should go into annuities? And a lot of annuity guys, what they hear is, how much money do you have?
That's not the right answer.
No, it's
you
not.
need to work backwards from that philosophy of what do I need to take care of?
Yes.
And then you have extra dollars, hopefully, left over to say, hey, all right, this is what I'm going to use to either hedge for inflation. These are what the pieces that are going to be out there to help get that growth, so that when inflation starts to erode your spending power, you've got additional dollars to supplement those sources.
Right.
So,
Eric, one of the items that I think that everyone is aware of and should be very focused on, and that is the taxation. That our government is becoming, more and more, I believe as time approaches, it's going to be more confiscatory. How about that?
I got to go get my dictionary. Hold on. What the heck?
Confiscatory. No, taxes are going to be ever increasing, whether it's through inflation, whether it's through direct taxation, or even what our government's doing now by printing so much money that they're creating bubbles.
Yes.
So,
when we know it's coming. The death and taxes. Those are the two things you can count on.
So you need a strategy.
Yes.
You need a real strategy, and it's not really for the faint of heart. Tax strategies are not always simple.
Right.
And yet, you have to take advantage of statutes in the IRS code that are favorable.
It's using what's there now.
That's it.
It's if you don't have a plan, you can guarantee that you're going to pay more taxes than
right.
you probably should.
That's right.
Because you didn't plan, you didn't take those things into account. And if you don't think about those things, I can guarantee you, you're going to give Uncle Sam a reason to be happy. And there's not something we're advocating right now.
No. Ultimately, when folks are planning their retirement, there's several things they want to accomplish. A lot of times they need income.
Okay.
They want to see some growth. And they'd like to pass something on to the heirs.
Right. Optimally, the optimal plan is to say, I've got this much money. If I could just pull the interest off, that would be great. And I can leave the rest to my heirs. Well, there's strategies that will allow you to do that.
Yes. And they can incorporate annuities quite effectively.
Yeah. The big piece there is, have you saved enough to make yourself comfortable for all that time? And if you have, then you have enough to put into each of those buckets.
Yes.
So,
well, and Eric, do you agree that this is where working with the right specialist can make a real difference?
Oh, of course. I mean, somebody who is used to working in this stage of your life, we have plenty of accumulation specialists out there that are good at helping
building
money.
the pot up.
They just don't like to share it with you when it's time for you to spend it. So when it comes to spending down your money, you have to have the plan in place that says, all right, this is how we're going to spend it. We're not going to go out and spend too much at one time. We're going to balance it. We're going to use this bucket to regrow. And having the strategy and having the experience to see that people have been successful with this type of strategy comes into play a lot. So having an income specialist and a retirement expert.
Yes. Folks, you just need a strategy in retirement. And if you don't have one, you should get one.